I've been asked by quite a few people of how I teach people to play bridge quickly, like in a taster session, and I thought the simplest way would be to video me teaching 4 people how to play. This can be done just as a group of 4, or it could be rolled out to 12, 13, 14 tables just as easily. I would like to emphasise this isn't how to teach people to play bridge well, it is just teaching the mechanics of the game, and it's how I choose to teach it. I'm certainly not suggesting that this is the only way to teach it, but if you would like to teach a taster session and don't know how to do it, then this might give you a little bit of help. The group of 4 people I chose haven't played cards before. One of them has played a little trick-taking card games, but the others haven't really played at all. So the video does go from teaching them, showing them a pack of cards, all the way through to actually learning how the game works. And what was lovely is at the end, they actually all just carried on playing while I went off and did something else. So it is light-hearted, it's not staged in any way. What I have done is sped up some bits and cut some bits out so that you're not watching all the hands being played. But hopefully this will give you a good idea. I hope you enjoy it. In my taster sessions, I tend to do it in 7 stages to get from knowing nothing about cards to bidding. And the first stage is just demonstrating what a trick is and who leads to the next trick and which card wins. So I do this by using 1 suit. I tend to use the spade suit because first of all it's the highest ranking suit, so it sort of gets that in the mind to start with, and you just remove the 2 so that all 4 players get an equal number of cards. Okay, right, what I'm going to do is assume that none of you have played cards before at all. So this is what I do in all my beginners courses, is start off from scratch. So don't think that I think you're stupid, because I don't. I'm just assuming that you don't know anything at all. So we'll start off with just a basic pack of cards. So there's 4 suits. Those are spades, hearts, diamonds and clubs. And in each suit there are the ace, king, queen, jack, and then there's 10 down to the 2. It's not actually a 1 because the ace is officially 1, but in bridge and whist-taking card games the ace is always high. All happy so far? Right, so what we're going to do to start with, we're just going to use the spade suit because that is the best suit. Genuinely is. So we're going to start off by just learning what a trick is. So I'm going to shuffle them. It's quite hard to shuffle only 30 cards actually, or 12 even. And you are going to get 3 cards each. And remember, it is just luck what card you get. So if you don't win a trick, don't worry. So I dealt as though I was sort of silent because I dealt to you first. So you're going to start off and you're going to lead any card. Now you lead it by placing the card face up on the table in front of you.
Okay.
And what's going to follow from that is everyone's going to follow round clockwise and play a card. And when all 4 of you have played a card, the highest card will win that trick.
Okay.
Happy so far? Yeah?
Ready to go?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Face up.
Oh,
so
sorry.
everyone can sit. So here, an ace is high, so that would beat a king. So because you can't beat that card,
So I shouldn't have played it.
you might as well play your lowest card. So you can take that one. Perfect. So Charlotte's won that trick, so you can collect the cards. And now because Charlotte's won that trick, she leads to the next trick.
Okay.
Can she then use them cards or?
Nope. So those are
Alright.
finished now.
Alright.
So now you get to play next because it goes round in a clockwise fashion. Now you know your king's going to win the trick. And so you won that trick, so you can collect those cards and you lead to the last trick because you've only got 3 cards. And so Dylan's queen has won that trick, so you get to win that trick.
Perfect.
Are you all happy with the idea of a trick and who leads to the next trick?
Yeah.
Generally, if you can't beat the card that is played ahead of you, you might as well just play as low as you can. Okay? Stage 2 is introducing the whole pack of cards and learning that you have to follow suit after one person's led, and also what to do when you have run out of that suit. Okay, so this time we're using the full pack of cards. So there's 52 cards, 13 in each suit, so you've got 13 cards each. When you get your cards, you sort them so that all your hearts are together, all your clubs are together, diamonds together, spades. And you might want to sort them so that they are in order. So ace down to the 2, just so that it's a little bit easier to see what you've got. I got told when I was first playing that it's sensible to sort them red, black, so that you distinguish them a little bit easier. Okay, so I dealt the cards on behalf of Dylan, so that means that Tom, you get to lead to the first trick, and you can pick any card you like and play it as you did with just the spade suit, but now with all 4 suits. The difference here is that when Tom's led a diamond, if you've got a diamond, you have to play a diamond. So you have to follow the leader. If you haven't got a diamond, you can just throw away a very low card from another suit that won't probably make a trick.
Okay, yeah.
Tom, you won that trick, so you can collect that one. And because you won that trick, you get to lead to the next trick. And you can lead any suit. You don't have to stick to the same suit. You can do anything you like. Okay, so Simon, you won that trick, so if you want to collect that. Now you can lead any card you like to the next trick, and it doesn't matter which suit again. Yep.
So, can I play anything at the moment? Or does
You
it
have to play a club. So once a club's been led,
if I don't have one,
if you don't have one, then you can play anything else. But for example, the Queen of Diamonds won't beat Jack of Clubs because it's a different suit.
Okay,
so
got you.
It will be the highest club that wins. And what we used to do is if we used to collect them and alternate them like that, then much easier to count. No diamonds left?
No diamonds.
Excellent, you're all brilliantly following the suit. Right, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's a draw. Stage 3 introduces playing with a partner and sitting opposite their partner and winning tricks as a partnership. So not trying to beat your partner's card, but just trying to beat the other pair. Okay, so we're going to do pretty much the same this time as the last time, but this time you're going to work as a pair. Now in bridge, and this is partnership whist, you sit opposite your partner. So Dylan, you get the pleasure of partnering Charlotte, and Tom, you get the pleasure of partnering Simon. So if your partner is already winning a trick with, say, a king, what you don't want to do is put your race on it because you'll be doubling up your good cards. So when your partner plays a good card, you tend to play a low card. And we're going to just win in a pair. So one of you is just going to collect all the tricks. So whoever wins the first trick out of each pair will collect all the tricks for your pair.
All right.
Okay. So Charlotte, you can start and lead to the first trick. Okay, so Simon and Tom, you won that trick. So Simon, you can collect it for your side. Simon, you get to lead to the next trick. So whoever, it's exactly the same. Whoever wins that trick, doesn't matter out of the pair, but that person will win, start to the next trick. Right, so Dylan will collect that, even though it's your trick, because it's both of yours.
Perfect.
but you lead to the next trick because you won that last trick. And you've got no hearts left, Charlotte?
No, not one.
Ooh, good to know.
Last one.
I think that might win the trick.
Perfect.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 7 plays 6.
Yeah.
Stage 4 introduces mini bridge, declarer, dummy, the defenders. I use bridge boards for this, mainly so that over stage 4, 5, 6 and 7, each player can experience being declarer. It's not necessary to have bridge boards, but it does help everyone experience that. You can just deal the cards normally. Players will also learn how to evaluate their hands by counting points. Okay, this time we're going to crack it up a little bit and we're going to use what's called bridge boards. And this is what's used at bridge clubs, and it's basically to keep everybody's hands separate from each other. So I'm in full control over what you've got, because I am a control freak. So what you can do is take out your cards from each of the slots. So Simon, you're east, Charlotte, you're north. I'll hold on to it. Sorry, I'm pressing down on yours.
There we go.
Okay, so you can sort them out exactly as you have done before. Okay, so now you've sorted your cards. What I'd like you to do is we're going to add up points. Now, certain cards are worth some points and other cards are not worth any points at all. So stay with me. An ace is worth 4 points, king's worth 3, queen's worth 2, and a jack is worth 1. So each suit has 10 points with an ace, king, queen, jack. So there are 40 points in a pack. So we'll be able to tell if somebody hasn't added them up, because they won't add up to 40 by the end. So if you could add up the points in your hand. Okay, so Charlotte is dealer, so Charlotte's going to start off and she's going to say out loud how many points she's got.
17.
And then
Lucky
we'll
you.
go round in clockwise
8.
fashion.
9, 6.
Okay, so Charlotte and Dylan have the most points. So Charlotte's got 17 and you had
9.
9, so you've got 26 points. So your side have 40. And thankfully 8 and 6 add up to 40. So we've got 40 points. So because yes, so because Charlotte and Dylan have the most points, they become what's called the declaring side. So they're sort of in charge of the hand, really, picking lots of things. And out of their side, Charlotte has the most points, so Charlotte becomes the declarer, and Dylan becomes the dummy.
Okay.
Now the dummy hand, I knew you'd find that funny. So the dummy hand gets faced up on the table for everyone to see. Now the way you put it down is you have to put high cards at one side. So if I'm doing it like this, you put them down. So the high cards at your side, and you put down all 4 suits in line like that. So I'll help you as you're doing it.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm a bit confused. So,
Yep, perfect. And excellent. A smoothly put down dummy.
there we go.
So now, sadly, dummy has to do as they are told.
Oh. Okay.
And you have to do as Charlotte tells you.
Okay. Interesting.
So, now the person who is the left-hand side of the declarer, which is Simon, gets to lead to the first trick. So you can lead any card, and now we play exactly the same as we have been. So you're still in a pair, but Charlotte gets to choose the cards from the dummy hand, and that's the only difference.
Okay.
Shall we win the first one?
Can you play the 6 of diamonds, please?
So now, because we're playing with bridge boards, if you play them all in front of you, so Dylan, if you take the 6 of diamonds and put it right in front of you there,
Okay, yeah.
and then Tom, it's your turn, and bear in mind that Simon's already winning the trick. And now, because your side have won the trick,
Yes.
Your side haven't. Your side have won the trick. You
can
put
go
it vertically, and you can put yours horizontally because you've lost the trick.
I see.
Okay, and now you get to lead to the next trick because you won the first trick.
Right.
Not that many points.
Can you play the 4 of spades, please?
I can indeed.
And start to work out what your partner might have.
Yeah.
And because you know that Tom's got 6 points, if you know cards that he's got, you can start working out what other cards he might have as well.
Can you play the 6 of spades for me?
So now, Tom, it's your lead. Next trick. You can now, what you're probably not used to is you can use dummy to help you. So you know that dummy's got, for example, the king and the queen of hearts in this suit, so you might not want to waste cards.
Okay.
So the lead's from that hand, so you can take that up.
Yeah, I was going to
Because
say,
the king
yeah.
of hearts won that trick, you have to lead from
Can
that
you
hand.
play the
So have a look at dummy before you play.
Can you play the queen of hearts, please?
Well done.
Well done, Charlotte.
Thank you.
Stage 5 introduces the concept of a trump suit. We cover the trump suit's role and how you can win tricks with trumps, and also how to pick which suit you would like as trumps. The additional thing covered in this section is the ranking order of the suits, so that the hearts and spades are the major suits and the diamonds and clubs are the minor suits, and that the major suits score better than the minor suits. Okay, so we're going to do exactly the same thing as the last hand, but with a little bit extra. So this time, whoever ends up as declarer not only gets to see their partner's cards as dummy, but they also get to choose a trump suit. Now, a trump suit is what I describe to my daughters as a magic suit. It basically ranks above all the others, and so the 2 of the trump suit will even beat an ace of any other suit.
Okay.
So if somebody, say if hearts were trumps and someone played the ace of spades and you hadn't got any spades left, you can play the 2 of hearts as a trump to beat that ace. So the highest trump on a trick would win a trick, but if a trick doesn't have a trump, it's still exactly the same. But if you've run out of a suit, then you can use the trump suit
Do you have
try
to
and win a
declare the
trick.
trump suit at the start?
Yes, so what will happen is you'll all count your points exactly the same. We'll decide on who declarer is and who the dummy is. And as soon as the dummy goes down, declarer is going to pick a trump suit. Okay, so have you all counted your points?
No.
So Simon, because you're dealer, you will say the number of points you have first.
I've got 6. Yeah.
That's why it's taken them a bit longer.
11.
17.
17. So between the 2 of you, you've got 23, and you 2 have 17. So your side are the declaring side, and because Tom has more points than you, then Tom is the declarer and your hand is the dummy hand. So can you remember how Dylan put dummy down the last time? So your high cards go at this side.
Does Tom get to choose the trump cards as well?
So
Okay.
tips in terms of trumps is you actually want lots of them. It doesn't matter whether they're really high cards, you just want more trumps than the opponents.
Right.
And because there's 13 cards in a pack, if you've got only 7 trumps, the opponents have got 6, and that's a bit close. So really, ideally, you'd like 8 cards in a suit between the 2 hands to be a trump suit, so that the opponents only have 5.
Right.
Right, okay.
And the extra bit I'm going to add as well is that in bridge, there's ranking of suits. So we'll cover the first bit of ranking. So there's major suits and minor suits. So the major suits are hearts and spades, and the minor suits are diamonds and clubs. Basically, all that means is the major suits score better than the minor suits. So if you have a choice between a major and a minor, you want to pick a major because it scores better.
Right.
Okay, so do you have a trump suit in mind?
Yes, spades.
Okay, So when dummies put their cards down, if you've got a trump suit, you always put the trumps on the right hand side of dummy, left hand side as you're looking. Basically, so no one forgets what trumps are.
Okay.
Okay. And the person who leads to the first trick is always the left hand side of the declarer. So Charlotte, you get to lead to the first trick. Any card you like. And then it's played exactly the same. You're just using spades as the trump suit and trying to make as many tricks as you can.
You do Jack of Diamonds.
So that's the point you could have used a trump
Right, okay.
to beat that
Yeah.
jack. So if you'd have played even the two of spades, that would have beaten the jack.
Right.
Okay.
What happens if you played and then you have the card hiding that you should have played?
You can switch it round. So as long as it's spotted before the next trick is led to, you can switch it. So if you want to take that back,
Right.
and you can switch it. So if you want to turn the last trick over, just show them what you played and take that one back in your hand.
Oh, is that a real situation?
Yeah.
No, it's good because then you get to find out what's happened. If they've led to the next trick, then you just carry on as normal, and then tricks get adjusted from either side. That's if they notice. So generally, the declaring side should have to make more than half the tricks because they've got more than half the points, which you've done because you made 8 tricks. Stage 6 is where I introduce the scoring a little bit, in that we cover that some contracts score extra bonus points because you've bid to a certain level. So we mention game contracts that they would score extra points. Anything else is covered as a part score. Okay, so we're doing much of the same, but this time we're going to add something connected with scoring. So you're going to add up your points exactly the same, work out who declarer is. When dummy goes down, what you want to do is add up the points for your side. And whoever ends up as declarer, if your side have more than 25 points, then you'd quite like to play in what's called a game contract. And a game contract is a bonus score basically, and you have to make a certain number of tricks depending on what you choose to play in. So first you'll pick whether you want to play with trumps, but you can also pick whether you want to play without any trumps. So you can pick to play in no trumps. And you're going to decide whether you're going to play in a game contract or what's called just a part score, which you're just making at least 7 tricks for a part score. So it's either a game or a part score. So I'll explain a bit more when whoever is declarer gets to pick. So Dylan, you're dealer, so how many points do you have?
14.
Tom?
9.
13.
4. Okay, so between the two of your the hands, you've got 27 points, so it's looking like you've got more than 25. So Charlotte, you're going to be the dummy hand, so if you put your dummy down on the table. Okay, so if when you're deciding whether you want to play with trumps or without any trumps, you tend to look at the major suits to see if you've got at least 8 cards in a major suit.
Remind me
so
of those.
The major suits are hearts and spades.
Okay.
If you haven't got 8, or at least 8, hearts or spades, you can pick to play without any trumps, which is called no trumps. And if you've got 25 points between the two hands, you can play in an extra game bonus contract. And in no trumps, the actual game bonus contract would be trying to make 9 tricks.
Ah, okay.
So in no trumps, it's 9 tricks. In hearts and spades, it's 10 tricks. And in diamonds and clubs, because they're rubbish and they're the minor suits, we feel a bit sorry for them, but you have to make 11 tricks. So,
oh wow, okay.
so you get, so part of the reason you want to play in no trumps rather than a minor suit is you only have to make 9 tricks to make a game contract in no trumps, whereas you'd have to make 11 if you chose a minor suit as trumps.
But then if I chose to play trumps, we just have to get more than our
just
opponents.
more than the opponents, but you won't score so well. So that's when it comes to scoring. So you'll score extra points if you choose to be a bit more ambitious. So do you have 8 hearts or 8 spades between the two hands?
I don't think so, no.
No, so because you've got at least 25 points, so you've got 27, I would suggest you're going to aim for a game contract in no trumps, so you're going to aim for 9 tricks.
Yes. We're looking at Charlotte's, my partner's hand. There's plenty of opportunity here to get there.
So your goal is going to be trying to make 9 tricks, but without any trumps this time.
That sounds good.
So can anyone remember who leads to the first trick?
To the left of me.
Yeah, so Tom, you'll lead to the first trick, and there's not going to be any trumps this time.
That's
There's leads
9.
in that hand.
Well, I've only got 1 left.
Excellent. Well done.
Very nice.
So you made 10 tricks. The final stage is where I introduce bidding. Now this is covered on a basic level of what suit outbids others, levels you bid at, who starts the bidding, how the bidding finishes, and how many tricks you have to make. There are no rules that I give people in terms of how many points you need to bid. I just give them a guide of there are 40 points in a pack and an average hand is 10 points. So actually, if you've got more than 10 points, you've got a better than average hand. So your side might well make more than half the tricks. The other idea is that length is good. So the more cards you have in a suit, the more you might want to bid them. But that is as much as I cover. When players have finished the taster course, I give them a small crib card which covers the very basics of the game, of how many points ace, kings and queens are worth, how many tricks you have to make, who leads to the first trick, just so that they've got a reminder on the table when they choose to play. Up until now we've been playing mini bridge, so now we're going to play full bridge, which bridge comes in 2 sections basically. There's the bidding and then there's the play. So mini bridge covers all the play, so now we're going to add in some bidding. Now bidding is just like a normal auction where you're bidding for something, like you might want to bid for a vase, possibly not, or some jewellery or something like that. So if somebody else bids, then you have to outbid them. So if you're bidding for something and you bid a fiver, there's no point in someone else chipping in with £3 because no one cares. So you have to outbid the previous person. And in bridge, you've got these bidding cards which will help you. So the suits in bridge all have a ranking. So clubs are the lowest ranking and it goes up to spades, and then no trumps is at the top. If you don't have a bidding box, you can remember it because it goes in alphabetical order of clubs, diamonds, hearts, spades. So, but with bidding boxes, it's much easier. And part of the reason we use bidding boxes is so that people don't forget what the bidding has been. So you can see previous bids that have been made. The bidding levels are relevant to the number of tricks that you have to make. As soon as you make a bid, you're trying to bid for more than half the tricks. So there's 13 tricks in a hand of bridge, and 7 is just over half. So you always add 6 to the level. So if you make a bid at the 1 level, you're saying you're going to make 7 tricks, but that's between yours and your partner's hand. So it is between the 2 of you. When you make a bid, following people have to outbid that. So where the ranking of the suits come in is if somebody were to bid, for example, 1 heart, then you couldn't bid 1 club or 1 diamond over 1 heart because they're lower ranked suits. But you can bid 1 spade or 1 no trump. If you wanted to bid clubs or diamonds, you'd have to go to the 2 level to outbid them. You all happy so far?
Yep.
Okay. If you don't want to bid anything, then you can pass and it just goes on to the next person. And it's entirely up to you the sort of hands you want to bid on. Just to give you an idea, there's 40 points in a pack with your ace, king, queens, jacks, and an average hand is worth 10 points because you could have 10 points each. So as soon as you've got more than 10 points, you've got a better than average hand. So you might want to start bidding. And if your partner bids something saying they've got more than 10 points, then you might want to bid as well, because between the 2 of you, you're looking for more than half the points. And the more points you've got between the 2 of you, the higher you want to bid. And whatever suit you bid, you're basically saying, I'd like that suit as trumps. If you don't want any trumps, you can bid no trumps. So we'll have a go and see how we get on. Okay, so Tom, your dealer, so you will start off the bidding. Now, just as an idea, if you've got more than 10 points, you might want to bid something. Yeah. And if you've got, like we were discussing earlier, when you've got a trump contract, if you've got a long suit, that's a good suit to sort of start off as thinking you'd quite like trumps.
Okay.
So when you're taking a bid out, you basically put your thumb on the bid you want and you pull out all the bidding cards from the back. So if you wanted to bid one spade, you would pull them all out, and then you put it facing your partner from the other side.
Right, okay.
Okay, so Charlotte would put hers there.
Oh, right,
Dylan
yeah.
would put his theirs.
Yeah.
And then it goes on to the next person and they do exactly the same.
Yeah.
Right, so if you want to start off, and if you need any help, let me know. Perfect. Okay, so Charlotte, now it's your turn to bid. So because Tom's bid one club, you can actually bid one of anything else because clubs are the lowest ranked suit.
But mine's not very easy.
No, so you can pass.
Okay.
So if you don't want to bid anything, you can pass.
Would that be a good idea?
I think that would be a good idea on your hand. Okay, so now Simon, it's your turn to bid. So what you're trying to do is say to your partner, I like this suit.
Right, okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
I have a communication to be made.
Excellent. And so here, Dylan can outbid one heart with one spade because spades are higher ranked.
Right, okay.
So now if you want to bid again, you would have to outbid one spade. So if you wanted to bid hearts or wanted to bid clubs, you would now have to bid them at the 2 level because they're both lower ranked than spades.
Yeah.
And because your partner's bid something, I would carry on bidding because you don't
Yeah.
you don't want to let Dylan win the contract. Not when your sides are both bidding. And when you're bidding twice,
Right.
if you pop it next
Next
to
to
it,
it so you
because
see
then
both.
everyone can see both. So now if you were to end up there, because you're adding 6 to the level, so far your side have bid to make 8 tricks with hearts as trumps.
Yeah.
And it's up to Charlotte and Dylan whether they let you carry on with that bid. Charlotte might outbid you, or Dylan might. Or you can carry on bidding yourself if you think that you're going to make more than 8 tricks. So it's up to you.
But I've got quite an uneven hand.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I think I'm going to pass again.
Okay. So are you happy at 2 hearts, or do you? Yeah.
No, I'll let you have it.
Okay. So now there's been 3 passes in a row. That's the bidding finished. So everyone always gets a turn after the last bid. On the first round of bidding, everyone always gets a turn. So even if there were 3 passes in a row, the 4th person's allowed to bid. But after that, as soon as 3 people pass in a row, they're saying, we don't want to go any higher. And so that always might be your last bid.
Yeah.
So 2 hearts is the contract. Because Simon bid hearts first,
Yeah.
he becomes the declarer, and your hand will be the dummy hand.
Right.
Hearts are trumps, and Simon's going to try and make 8 tricks with hearts as trumps between the 2 hands.
Right.
So Dylan, you get to lead because you're the left-hand side of the declarer.
Okay.
So you have to bear in mind you're leading with hearts as trumps. So you can pick any card you like. Very well done. So you made 10 tricks. So you made your contract plus 2 extra tricks. So you do score for those extra tricks as well. Yeah, very well done. So you now all know how to play bridge.